Hey, family, and welcome back or welcome to my channel, A Woman's Heart Podcast, a go-to destination for exploring faith, inspiration, health, and personal growth. Are you feeling lost or unfulfilled in your career? Do you dream of finding work that truly aligns with who you are? Then you're in the right place because today we're talking with an expert who's dedicated to helping people just like you discover your true identity and ideal path for who you are. So keep watching so you can get your blessing. Well, hello, and welcome back to a Woman's Heart Podcast, a wellness podcast where we explore faith, inspiration, health, and personal growth. And today we're joined by Porches Green. Porsche is a career powerhouse with a BA in psychology and an MS in business analysis. And our guest, and she's going to bring over a decade of experience talking about learning and development as well. And as a certified career coach and speaker, she's transformed many lives and countless high schoolers, young adults, career switchers. So get ready to gain invaluable insight into in navigating your career journey and achieving your professional dreams. And we just want to welcome you to the show today, Portia.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Thank you. And thanks for coming. We're excited about having you on the show and sharing a little bit about your wisdom and your knowledge and your background, your journey, and how you got to where you are today. So let's just jump right on in. Why don't you tell us who you are from your heart and what gets you up in the morning?
Sounds good. So, I'm Portia. As she said, I have 10 years in learning and development. I am passionate about empowering adults to do their best job and whatever that way may look training, workshops, coaching. I really want to empower people to be whoever they want to be and show up in ways that make them successful. So, that's what gets me out of bed in the morning. It's just helping others at the root of it.
I love that. And helping others is the law of reciprocity. At some point, that always comes back to you. So it's an excellent way to live your life. So thank you for that. We appreciate it. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey and your background and your passion? Because what was that pivotal moment or experience in your life that helped you make a shift to where you are today?
So, my career journey, like many others, has a lot of twists, turns, starts, and stops. I did not know what I wanted to do with myself. I went to college thinking I wanted to be a doctor, then really quickly realized that really wasn't for me, changing to psychology, then going to law school. So, I was the person that tried a little bit of everything. I
Mhm,
would say that pivotal moment was when I became a human capital consultant. When
mhm.
you're any type of consultant, it's a good way to just try a lot of little different things. So, in that role, I tried HR, performance management, data analysis for trainings. And then I started on this project with the Marine Corps. I was their analyzer. So, taking the surveys and saying, your training is pretty good, but here are the ways you can improve it. And they were getting really bad marks. And so I said, can I just see what your slides look like? Let me see what you're using to teach the students. And it was just white slides, black text, highlight. It was not a great experience. And so I just raised my hand and said, hey, can I take a shot at just improving these? It wasn't in my job title at the time, but I just wanted to try something else. And that just raising my hand that moment helped me find L&D. And I was like, this is an amazing career path for me. It's
Yes.
creative, it's data backed. You use some really incredible tools to make voiceover and videos. So I stumbled into my career on accident, which sometimes that's how it goes. You don't know what you're looking for. It's really just saying yes to opportunities as they come.
I like that. You don't know what you're looking for until you find it, right? It finds you.
Yes.
What you're seeking is also seeking you, right? So then you marry that together. I love that. And as a learning development professional myself, I get it. I completely get it. I love that. So what sparked your initial passion for helping people navigate their career journeys? Was it something that happened with you? Then you saw for yourself how you had to shift? And how has that passion evolved over the years?
Yeah, that's a great question. It was me taking so many stops and starts, grad schools. I ended up with a lot of student loan debt. And
Okay.
I just knew I wanted to save people from this experience.
Mm,
Being lost can cost you money. So, like, what are the things you can do that are free or a company investing in you so you're not wasting all of that time and energy? So, that's where I was like, you know what? I want to help high schoolers. When I was in high school, I knew of 3 career paths: lawyer, engineer. That's all you hear about. That's all you see on TV, everything. So I was like, even my first role, it was something I'd never heard of. And typically when you graduate, you end up in these things you've never heard of. So I wanted to bring more career paths and titles and awarenesses to high schoolers. So that's where I started my speaking engagements, doing workbooks, different workshops, just to start sparking the interest in some other areas. It's evolved in terms of I want to do more of it, but I also have to continue to look at an industry and see what's going on. So technology, tools, all of those things are really huge right now. And so those can impact how you look for jobs. What are your job search strategies? How do you find information? So yeah, I continue to try to do more of it. I think it's really important work, and I just get so much joy and energy out of it. So I'll always have that as part of something that I'm doing, no matter what job I hold.
Wonderful. So this is a follow-up question to what I just asked you. And I want to know, how did you start? Did you go up to a high school and say, hey, talk to the counselors and say, I really think that I want to share my expertise with the students? How did that happen for you?
So my first opportunity actually was with DC Public Schools, and they were looking for career coaches just out in their career website. That was my first opportunity of speaking with students, doing resume writing, interview prep, that sort of thing.
Right.
And then the speaking engagement sort of naturally followed through networking. So I would talk to teachers, I would talk to principals, I'll tell them all of the things that I can offer as a career coach, and just sort of word of mouth. I've been able to speak at the University of Maryland and Montgomery County Public Schools. I just feel like good conversation sometimes is all you need to get started. Just tell people like, what do you bring and what are you trying to do? And usually someone will be like, we do need that.
I love that. So in with the career path and teaching career path and having a passion there, do you also find just bridging a gap for life skills with the students sometimes when you're talking with them?
100%. My last engagement was last month, and I was speaking with their teachers and career advisors and saying, like, what is the challenge you see with these students? And they said they are not quite resilient. They are met with a challenge and they tend to back down. Instead of kind of like, rising to the occasion, getting it done, and having that sort of like, I can do anything mindset. And so I do end up teaching those other kinds of skills of like, yeah, at the end of the day, we want to find a job that aligns with us. But in life, things are going to happen. We know as adults, if it's not one thing, it's another. A bill's going to hit, layoffs happen, just any type of adversity can show up at any moment. And if we were the type to fold under that pressure, we wouldn't get anywhere. So it's like I take them through those sort of like thought exercises. And sometimes they're very shocked. They're just like, oh, so like we don't get extra time when you have the deadline? No, your boss wants you to deliver on time. Do what you say you're going to do. And so that is also quite rewarding because it's like, yes, I'm working on them professionally, but I also get to grow and stretch and work on them personally.
I love that because that is a need, I think, when you talk about life skills for students coming out and going into the workforce or to college, having those life skills. And resilience is one of them. So I appreciate what you're doing because we definitely need what you're giving so folks can be able to hear you and apply it and understand. And sometimes it just takes one person to come and they hear it and they're like, oh, my mom's been telling me this all this whole time. And now you just confirm it.
Yes, 100%. Sometimes they don't hear until the second person says it or someone outside their network.
Someone that's not a parent.
Exactly.
Right. I love, so you're planting really great seeds along the way. So you talk about aligning career path with skill values and aspirations. What are some of your own core values that have guided your career choices?
So my career values, first and foremost, balance. I knew when I was going down the pathway of law and law school, they don't have a lot of balance. I always knew I wanted my job to be integrated in my life, and life comes first. I'm really big on family. I'm an amazing friend. I show up for people. So that means like, I'm not someone where my job will always take the front seat. And so I need something that offers balance, flexible hours, flexible with time off, because I want it to be integrated with my life.
Right.
Second core value is creativity. I am someone that loves the arts. I love color theory. I love creating videos. So the aspect of my job that is creation oriented is definitely something that I seek out when I look for positions. And it's also given me the awareness that I don't see management in my journey in the short term, because the higher you go up, the less you're actually doing the work. And so the creativity kind of goes away.
Right. It's like the tactical versus the strategic. You can sprinkle some strategic in the tactical, but when you're so strategic, you don't get to do the hands-on and the fun stuff, basically. You
Yeah,
manage it.
exactly. So that's why I'm just like, in time that'll come, but right now I really want to attain as much creativity as I possibly can. And then the last value for me is recognition. So I've had people in other jobs take credit for my work or
Yes.
outshine me, even though I'm the hands doing the thing. And so recognition, not to say that I'm prideful or boastful, but it's like I do like to be, you did a great job on this thing, so I can continue to make great things for you. And
Mhm.
vice versa. If you have feedback for how I can grow and stretch and improve, I also want to hear those things. So I would say those are my top three values at the moment.
Those are great values. I think that last one where you have to take ownership of your work, a lot of times, because we're not taught that. That's something you have to evolve into, right? And understanding how to take the ownership of your work without allowing someone to take your work and say, oh, yeah, a lot of
Mhm.
times we didn't do anything. I did. But at the end of the day, it's learning how to do that. And a
Mhm.
successful way to do that is just staying professional and knowing your value and your worth. And it sounds like you have gotten to that headspace where you can do that and feel like I can bring the value. I'm a team player, but I'm also an individual contributor. And that is what I'm hearing. You can do both, but you really need to let folks know too that I was the one that came up with this amazing idea. And it's okay to take ownership of that.
100%. And I think as an introvert, it took me a long time to learn how to do that. I'm quiet by nature, but sometimes you do have to say to your manager and their boss, this is what it took to create this. This is what I need, and like, advocate for yourself. Because,
Exactly.
like you said, it's easy to say the team did this. I'm on a team.
They do it right. The forefront of the team is the PM that might say we, but at the end of the day, it's you. And it's okay to be that person and to shine in that space, because I think what it does for people around you, Porsche, is give them permission to shine too and not be shy about it. And yeah, there's a lot of introverts by nature or shy or quiet by nature. They have learned that skill set. So I commend you on that, because it's a skill set. Learning how to speak up in a certain way so you don't sound like you're being angry or any of that, but you're really professionally trying to make sure that you are recognized for the work that you do. And that's okay.
Yes,
Love
100%.
that. Well, wonderful. So you speak a lot about the work that you've done as a coach and doing the workshops and your services that you've provided. So what aspects do you find the most personally fulfilling and why?
Definitely my workshops. When I'm doing one-to-one coaching, I
Mhm.
almost have to explain things and like, be prepared to explain it two or three different ways, because you
Right.
never know what language is going to resonate with the person. But when
Exactly.
you're in a workshop with a group, just some one person asking a question sparks something in another. Then it's like this energy exchange of like, oh, well, and this thing. So I really enjoy that work, because it's like they're not only learning from me, I'm learning from them, and they're learning from each other. And
Exactly.
I always feel like those are my most powerful sessions. I'm great with one on one coaching, but when you are with a handful of young people and they speak each other's language, it's like, oh no, what she's trying to say is this. And of course, I don't speak the hip lingo of whatever they're trying to say right now, but they do.
Always changing.
It's
Always changing.
changing.
I think I said something once, and my daughters were like, "We don't say that no more, Mom." I
Like,
was like,
right.
"Okay,
And
whatever."
sometimes I get caught like that too. And they're just like, oh, she's trying to say this. And it's like, there you go. And they're like, oh, yes. So that light bulb clicks on. So it's a beautiful thing to see. I love
Yeah,
the workshop aspect.
awesome. That's good to know. It's good to hear. So you work with a wide range of individuals. So what do you find is the most common thread or universal need that connects people in their career journeys? And what have you found?
I find being a lifelong learner,
Mhm.
definitely in this day and age, we are technological. A new system, a new process, a new something is always being developed.
Yeah.
And if you're someone that's like, I've been doing my job this way for 10 years, 20 years, and it's tried and true,
Mhm.
Those are the ones that I tend to have the hardest time coaching because you have to always be ready to learn a new skill. And when I talk to my high schoolers, I also tell them you never know what you're going to need later. So, in one of my first instructional design careers, my job description was straight design, creative, creating videos, workshops, handouts, that sort of thing. But my manager said, we need you to do some LMS support. So, putting the training out on the platform.
Right. Mhm.
So I could have been like, that's not in my job description. I don't want to learn that. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Mhm.
But I would have done myself a great disservice because the role I'm in now, which is very well aligned for me,
Mhm.
has a lot of LMS administration. So had I not said yes to that opportunity earlier, I would have never been able to be in this position. So
Right.
it's just that is the common thing. You always have to be ready to learn something new.
I love that. So being open, and it is a mindset, it's a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset, which you eloquently said. But I think that that's the piece. It's like having a growth mindset, moving forward. What does that look like? How does that look in the future? You could stay in one place and not do but that one thing. You start to shift, your mind starts to grow. I just want to take on additional things because what it allows you to do, and it sounds like you've done it, is to be able to not only contribute in another way, but also learn new things. It keeps you relevant to the game, whatever that game might be at the time.
Yes, 100%. And that's something that you definitely need in this L&D space. As during the pandemic, it was pretty much name your price. Schools had to go virtual. They didn't know how to make online learning.
Right.
So that was a great time for my role. But
Right.
now schools are going back in person, offices are going back in person, and I'm seeing an industry that L&D is being a little bit devalued. Learning manager and director of learning, they're getting 40,000 less at the moment because there's just not that same we need this function so bad. And so
Mhm.
you always have to pivot and be ready, look out and say, if this thing goes left, what else can I do? What
Will
skill
do.
set?
Yeah. Now,
Right.
I agree with you on that whole salary thing because I've been looking at salaries out there under Glassdoor, and it looks like the salaries they're not as robust as they were. Let's just say that. And I'm like, wow, well, the salary ranges in these learning and development roles doesn't look like it did maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I agree with you on that. So what are some of the biggest challenges you see in high school students and young adults facing when they want to navigate their career path? And what's your advice to overcome that?
The biggest challenge I hear from them is that they're afraid because they don't have it all figured out.
Yeah.
And I tell them, even when I was in high school, there was that pressure to just know, like, I'm going to University of Maryland and I'm a major in accounting.
Mhm.
But we don't all have that clarity right at the forefront. And
Mhm.
so I tell them, take every opportunity you can. You have parents, they have friends. Go shadow, go interview, go ask questions, and just see what other job titles spark interest or what other paths and industry are interesting to you. I always say there's no such thing as too much information. The more information you can source can help you so you don't have to make so many changes and pivots and I'm going to law school, I'm going to med school, I'm doing this, I'm changing and doing that. Do the legwork early. It will save you so much money and time. That is my greatest advice to them. And then I also tell them use LinkedIn.
Yeah.
They are your social media people, young adults with the Instagram and TikTok. There's a professional whole site for people and their jobs and their careers, and you can get such great breadcrumbs of,
Mhm.
oh, this person's a director of sales. Well, how did they get there? What was their path? What did they study? It's information. So they're like, well, I don't have a job to put up there. Be honest. You're a high school student sourcing information. You go to this high school, you do these clubs. You don't have to lie to be on LinkedIn. Be yourself.
Because that's what people are looking for, authenticity.
Yes, 100%. So it's like, yes, you're in there with professionals that are experienced, but you have every right to be there as well. And it's a resource and you should absolutely utilize it.
I love that. That is so true. That was great advice. Thank you, Portia. I knew we were going to get some great advice and some gold nuggets from you today. I appreciate you. So to keep someone may want to further the conversation with you. So can you share your information with the audience, your email or your LinkedIn
Yeah.
profile or your website?
100%. So LinkedIn is the best way to get in contact with me. I'm up there as Portia G or LinkedIn /Portia G. If you have a high schooler in your life or a young adult that needs some help, I do have a Explore and Discover workbook that I use. So that's also listed on my LinkedIn. And my email is pngreen512@gmail.com. In case you need any help working through assessments or anything like that, I'm always open to working with others.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. And I just want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule, because I know you're busy, to share your knowledge, your wisdom, and your passion with us, and your expertise. So thank you again.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, and I hope to connect more.
Oh, absolutely. And as we wrap up, if you've enjoyed our time together, remember to share, like, and comment and subscribe to the podcast. You can connect with me. You can send me an email at doemetoday@gmail.com, and you can learn more about services and resources that Voices of Encouragement offers at our website, which is voicesoфencouragement.com. And remember, our mission is to empower minds and transform lives. And as we end this show, I always like to say, Ephesians 4:1, walk worthy of the call for which you were called.
Thank you so much.